Hi there, folks. Simon here. This is the 2022 TAC Championship. That's right, this is the final tournament of the year, the one where we do it every 2 years to get the top 8 players who have qualified through various means and make it into this final championship tournament. We do have the reigning champion, Fwib, in this tournament that will have to be beaten at some point, but not in this match. We have Abyss and PlutoTheBrave, who I believe both qualified through the 2021 TAC Open. And they're going to be playing a 4-game match, but today I believe we're just going to be seeing 2 of those. And the 4-game match is back and forth swapping colors, black and white. And we are looking at 6x6 size with 15 minutes on the clock, 15 seconds increment added, and 2 komi. And they will be jumping in. It looks like Abyss is going to be playing as white in game 1, and PlutoTheBrave will be playing as black in game 1. And we also have special guest commentator on with us. We have Aliano2.
Hey guys, for the second time. All right, let's get this game started. Yeah, so these 2 games will not be decisive, even if one of the players wins both. Okay. Pluto is contesting the knight's opening with a block on e4. Yeah, or or yeah, both are theoretically sound. We're getting Pluto might be considering capstone d2 here or capstone c4. Capstone. Yeah, that's solid. Okay, we do see capstone d2. Now it is possible technically for white to isolate the capstone by going d3+, but I don't think that does much in this case, because black would just fill in on d3. Yeah, so like in these kinds of positions, typically I think you would go for stuff like c4, c2, capstone there maybe. Yeah, but I mean f3 is probably just met with f4, which just prevents the vertical from happening and allows black to. Yeah, but on the other hand, when black gets f4, then like black is more going for the horizontal than white now. So it kind of makes sense for black to for white not to let black place on f4. It's like kind of giving black a free move, I think. But I mean, yeah, it's the opening. Nobody really has any theoretical knowledge here at this point, I don't think. Tough to evaluate. Yep. Yeah. Abyss is starting to think. Going for c5. Interesting. I'm guessing black sort of wants to block off the vertical here with like b2. It's kind of an awkward spot for both players because b3 is also sensible.
So, turns out my audio has been messed up this whole time, but we fixed it now. That's
Oh,
awful. So, people have been hearing you, not me. And they have been hearing also my pregame music. Great. Okay. So,
oh.
it's all right. My my commentary wasn't super useful anyway.
Yeah, but I guess we missed the introduction about what this is even.
We did miss it. I'll have to record that later. It's all right.
Yeah, but for those for those who want to know now, it's the tag championship, Abyss versus Pluto match.
It
We're
is
seeing 15 plus 15 with 2 komi,
on, of course, a
and
6x6 board. And this is a
yeah,
4 game match, but we're only going to be playing the first 2 games today.
yeah.
Because ain't
Abyss
nobody got time
characters,
for that.
right? Abyss characteristically now thinking a long time in the opening, already
Hmm.
down to 13 minutes.
I mean, Pluto's not too far behind him.
Well,
But yeah,
Pluto is
it is turn
hovering.
7.
Yeah,
So
we've got
typically at this point with 15-second increment and a 15-minute timer, I'd probably be up there at 17 minutes by now.
Oh, I think White is getting capstone B2 now.
Yeah, Capstone B2 makes a lot of sense. When you get that pattern of these diagonally connected opponent flats, that's a really strong position to place a capstone. It's also centrally located mostly, and it can interrupt a lot of what Black's doing with their own flat game right here. And
Yeah.
that just in general, it follows a lot of the guidelines that we talk about in the capstone video of Tank University.
Yeah, I think in this position, I think Abyss was kind of baiting Pluto into playing A3 um with B4 because B4 now like solidifies this like shape where you kind of like grasp the opponent's road. It's hard to like explain it in words, but it's a pattern that happens quite often. Although Abyss might as well just play B2 though. It's kind of scary to not place the capstone at this point in the game because you might not have many opportunities to do it later on.
For sure. And I think that like while it's not building towards his momentum currently, I think it's probably the best play he's got is dropping that cap at B2.
Oh yeah, I agree, I think.
But that momentum, it is tough to give up the momentum here because you want to make that threat. You want to force some moves out of Black, but forcing the wrong moves at the wrong time is also not beneficial to you.
Yeah, I mean, if Abyss plays F3 now, I mean, okay. So here's another idea, I guess. Abyss can also play F3 now, which would allow him to get F4, because Black cannot play F4 because F3 would come with tag. So Black would have to respond to that first.
Hmm.
So this could be also a setup to get F4, but I don't think the edge crawl on the right side has a future.
I agree. I don't think that it's particularly strong. Does
Yeah,
go for
okay.
the capstone, yeah. That's a smart play.
So now What does Pluto do? So his horizontal is kind of in shambles now.
Black is just really in trouble. They kind of have nothing that they can go for at the moment. They could try and go for some sort of horizontal threat by capturing up with both C2 and D2 to make that connection, but there's so many opportunities for white to dismantle that and also to flip it into their own advantage. And so black needs to do something to really destroy all of white's progress right here. And I think what that is getting up with that capstone up onto D3 and then over onto C3. It's
Yeah.
that cornerstone of both of those vertical and horizontal threats. That's what's going to be able to get him back into the game and interrupt what White's doing. But it is going to be two capture moves. Granted, it is with the capstone, but still two capture modes, not going to be getting those flats on the board, which is what he wants to do, especially as black, to get those flats on the board, work for that flat count score, since he knows that, he has a slight advantage there when it comes to going for flats.
Yeah, I mean the advantage is mostly like there to be spent
For
because
sure, for sure.
you have to you probably have to wall somewhere at some point. Um, Although because okay, I'm very scared as black looking at this. I'm very scared of the like C5 to B2 area.
Hmm.
This like rectangle. It kind of seems like it's not very okay. So black is going for the vertical now. I do think this is the like a good idea.
Yeah, that
Um,
flat on D5 gives black an opportunity to come left onto C5 at some point in the future. If he doesn't go for that offensively, he can use that to cut off White's vertical line.
right. I was also thinking B5 because white might want to get B5 himself in order to build the strong shape, the citadel.
Yeah, the Citadel would be really strong there, getting that flat on B5.
And there's not really much pressure from black at this point, so white could just go for this slow play, I think.
And it would make sense, and it would fit Abyss's playstyle.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know a lot about Abyss's playstyle because apparently you have a pretty good track record against
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
While Abyss is one of the favorites, based on the predictions, I believe Abyss is, let's see, 13 predictions, and he is uh, the one chosen to win one, two, three, four, 5 times out of 13. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, those are pretty good odds.
And then
5 out of
Fwib,
13
who
is.
is the reigning champion, is also picked 5 out of 13 times.
Oh, that's a tie.
So
Interesting.
so people basically have an equal idea of Fwib and Abyss winning this whole tournament, and yeah, he's doing pretty well in this game. We do see White decide to play up at C6 instead of build that a citadel like we were talking about, putting pressure on. Black comes up immediately with that D2 capstone, wants to get in there, wants to make that connection between their capstone and those D4, D5 flats, but also working towards this horizontal at the same time. Got the vertical going, got the horizontal going, also trying to cut off White's ability to go for that horizontal and potentially bring over the capstone or the flat up onto C3, making the horizontal, then also cutting off White's ability to go for that vertical threat. So solid move from Black. I think White could have taken a little more time. The Citadel idea is really nice. I think either way, Black would have come up. Maybe it would have given them an extra move to set up more of an issue there for White. Maybe Black would have played up at D6 first or played over at F4 first, and that way the capstone coming up would have been a threat, something like that.
I think I think black could have waited with D2 plus one move still. Because the citadel idea is technically not dead for white. White could still go for B5.
Yes, but also White could make a threat right now, which interestingly
Yeah, but
enough, we're on turn 9 and there hasn't been one yet. Also, we're on turn 9, and Abyss is down to below 8 minutes on the
Oh,
clock.
oh, oh no.
Pluto's down to 13. And so Pluto's got a 6-minute buffer almost on the clock. However, we do know that this is sort of Abyss's thing. He takes a ton of time in the early game, and then he will play 40 moves on the increment, just playing super quick in the end, which often will mess him up because the
Yeah.
end game gets super complicated and you need more time to think about those moves. But I can't fault him for spending a lot of time in the early game because we've seen time and time again somebody make some blunder in the early game that costs them a loss right at the beginning. We've seen in the recent intermediate tournament we just had, we've seen a few games that ended like on turn 15. So it is definitely a possibility here, and so taking your time isn't always a bad thing. But
Yeah, but taking so much of your time is.
I would agree with that. Abyss. I mean, I'm really bad at talking about time because I'm a super fast player, and that's yeah, not great. But yeah, when people take a ton of time, it stresses me out because if I'm below 3 minutes on the clock, for me, below 3 minutes is like 10 seconds for everybody else. Is what it feels like. I get super nervous and start to panic. And so I am starting to panic with Abyss at 6 minutes on the clock already.
I mean, this is like more. Like this is a minute per move. That's not. Wait, not 1 minute and 15 seconds because he still has increment.
Yes, that's
That's
true.
so much time.
On average, a minute
Although,
15 seconds
yeah,
per move. That is a lot of
it's
time.
it's not an actual average though. I mean, the average is kind of meaningless because I think he's just like spent on the last two moves
Correct.
eight
Yeah, he spent a
minutes.
lot of time on those. But
I think
man,
he's
yeah.
just yeah. I think he's just wow. A4. What?
Okay, so I
That is
think what he wants to
interesting.
do is the
I think he's
A4,
setting up A4 minus eventually.
or he's trying to set up to go above and place at D6 and
That could do it.
go for the horizontal and cut off black's vertical there.
Or oh, there's one more idea. Black can place F4 now, which would be tag, and A4 minus is a decent way to stop it.
hmm I mean, but also C3 left is better because it also makes attack threat.
No, I do not think that. Because
No?
C3 left allows black to throw onto B3.
And
And I
so
think that would be very strong.
I think the idea might be to okay, so
A2.
black is playing at A2 to protect the A3 spot. I think the idea behind some of these moves. So if white plays, for example, how could they do that? Could they protect against that somehow? White could play at F3 now, and then F3 would make it so black couldn't throw the capstone left. But he is
Tag
making the
threat.
attack threat by placing at B1, so he's
Yeah,
black
yeah,
comes
this
left with
is
the capstone to cut that off.
yeah, pretty much forced. And what is white gonna do? B2 plus? No, surely not.
B2
The
plus
cap
makes a lot
no.
of sense here because it
I
keeps
don't
the
think
capstone in the game and it cuts off black's immediate threat. But
but then black plays B2.
they can, but I don't know. I feel like black's capstone would not be doing very much at B2.
Right, so this is happening. Okay, the
Okay, the
A3
A4
the
minus
A4
going for the
minus.
threat that way. All right, that makes sense. So
So
now
what do
white's
you
got
do
another
here?
tag threat.
D5 left? Oh, doesn't that run into B2 plus?
Yeah, B2 plus is probably going to happen. That'll threaten the stack. So black
Ma-
will either have to give up that stack or defend against the road, and those are the only two options they've got. And so white will be able to win that stack on A3, if that is in fact a goal, which I can't imagine it wouldn't be.
Maybe black is just saying that white shouldn't have that as their goal. Maybe black is saying that putting the capstone on a3 doesn't make sense. Could be an idea. I don't think I mean these players are of very high caliber. I'm sure Pluto didn't miss that this is a fork. And I think Abyss is starting to think this as well. I mean, why would he spend so much time here otherwise, right?
Yeah, I mean he does have 4.5 minutes on the clock, so
I mean, do you go B2 plus? I think you still have to go with
I
B2
mean if he does
plus.
B2 plus, black is almost definitely going to wall at B2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he instead plays at A4.
Oh, he wants to fatten the stack up.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
But I don't. Interesting ideas all around. I mean, now what? So hang on. Okay, so B3 is pinned. So if A4 minus comes right now, then black will not be able to recapture it even. But black will have available D5 left as a decent defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say just go for F4 here. Might be a bit insane, but or wait, no, D3 makes more sense
Yeah,
because
D3 makes a lot of sense.
D3 sets us makes the tag, and then I mean I guess yeah. So D3 A4 minus, and then what D5 left I guess is the idea.
Yeah, that could work. Also could bring the capstone left. Ooh, drops the wall instead. Very, very strongly saying I don't want anything to do with this threat.
Oh, he's still gonna have to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
This
And
thread
so
isn't gonna go away on its own. A4 minus is still kind of strong, I think.
I'd agree with that. It forces a move from the wall.
Or maybe now B2 plus. No.
I do think the stack wants to be fattened. I think that's the idea behind it. But if he does B2 plus, it's almost guaranteeing a wall at B2. If the wall comes down onto B4, white can still come up with the capstone smash, or come left onto A3. But if it comes right onto C5, that's where white's going to have to build at B5, then at B6 in order to continue that vertical line. So they're better off going for the horizontal there at like D6, which is also still cut off. So yeah, black placing that wall there was a really strong move. It really dismantled a lot of what white's going for.
I think it's I'm very much a like a defensive wall hater. So I don't think this was quite necessary just yet. Because it does give up the komi advantage, and I don't think white's threats are really over. I mean the vertical one kind of is. I'll give him that, but I mean the edge throw at the bottom is at least plausible. Um so maybe a bit too hasty on the wall. Okay, B2 plus is happening, that makes sense. So what's going on here? D5 left to 3 C3 plus,
Or
B5 right.
or a wall at B2 or B5 right. I think the wall at B2 or the B5 right would be the most likely play here. I mean, he could even just drop a flat at B2.
Yeah, he can.
It wouldn't be
It is
great,
possible.
but it's something he could do.
Hmm. I think flat B2 and then well wait, B2 and then what does white play? B1 plus? Or
Or A4
A2 or
minus, or 2B3 left.
yeah, 2B3 left. Could work.
But Abyss
Definitely
is down to
the
below 3 minutes on the clock at the moment.
right, yeah. So you're already panicking.
I am panicking. If this were me, I'd be playing so quickly and playing terrible blunder moves the whole time. Not that I wouldn't have been doing that beforehand, but I would be doing it definitely now. But Pluto also taking quite a bit of time, down to 10 minutes on the clock.
Yeah,
Not a lot of time compared to Abyss, but a significant amount of time.
this is a very critical position. I think this is like the position where you I mean, I don't think you can win this game here. I think the best you can hope for is just to keep a normal game going, but I think you can definitely lose it here.
They are. It's interesting that this has come to this point at turn, 12 to 14 ish is when this is all kind of happening. Typically, you get these games where among these top players, you'll have a lot of flat placements, a lot of things like that, a lot of capstone captures and stuff, and then hardly any flat captures. We have seen the A3 stack that's been made with flat captures, and that's the only one so far. But typically, that point in the game where things start to sort of really stack up and then spread out, and then the whole game shifts and kind of gets flipped on its head due to a lot of stack movements and captures and recaptures and things like that. That typically happens around move 20 to 23 ish on most games that I've been watching between players of this caliber. So it's really interesting to see this happening closer to turn 14 right now. It's a much earlier, and so they're kind of forcing this much earlier shift in the game. And I
I
wonder how that's going to turn out, because it looks like that may be a product of Abyss being low on time and taking his time on this, and he wants to force that sooner. Or it could just be the natural flow of this game and kind of how they've been building it up.
I think like around 15 or even earlier is the more natural spot for like game defining decisions to be made. Um, I think typically they happen much later than they should really be. But that's like mostly due to like you know the fact that we're not bots.
We are people. We are, in fact,
Yeah.
some of us at least.
Oh, I hope all of us.
All
Okay,
right, we do see
so
the wall come down onto b4. That was one of the moves we were expecting, but white builds over it at d6. Now, I think
immediately.
that's a pretty quick move. He knew what he was going to do there. He's building
Yeah.
for that horizontal line, coming to smash up onto b4 with his own capstone at some point is I guess the idea here. Now black is shifting gears to go for that vertical line, cutting off white going for the horizontal at the same time as that. So if white were to play at f6 here, black would probably capture up with e4, and that would be attack threat for black in the vertical
No, I
direction.
don't. No, I don't think so. I think C1 would happen, right?
Oh yeah, because it
Yeah.
wouldn't be attack threat. So yeah, C1 would happen. Yeah, I was thinking that the in my head that wall was already smashed.
Right. And it's interesting to note that the D3 pins the white capstone now.
It does.
So the
And
white
so
capstone cannot reverse the move order of smashing.
exactly. And so the capstone smash has to be the final move at this point. Otherwise,
F6, if I think F5 is slightly more accurate because you don't want this stuff to be happening at the edge. You want it to generally be happening one away from the edge. That's like a small pattern to know, but probably
also it's nice
not.
to be able to place it next to your existing flat and not have to count on the capture going to that flat. And so making the connection to E5 and F5 is it feels a lot stronger than placing it up to F6 and letting E5
Yeah,
come up to it. Because
yeah,
now, if black wants to make any sort of capture, they're still going to probably make the same move, but it feels like it ends up in a stronger pattern for black.
Now black is considering capturing immediately, but I think the correct play is c1 to
Hmm.
force white to capture. Because what this will do is induce a capture from white. Afterwards, black will recapture to prevent the attack threat on b4.
I mean, white could
Um,
also capture with b1 onto c1.
well, I suppose they could. I'm not sure. I mean, when so okay, here's my reasoning, right? White needs to capture on the horizontal, like to build the horizontal anyway at some point. So they might as well respond to the threat by capturing, I think. Um, though maybe they want a bit more setup, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, anyway, I think if I were Pluto, I wouldn't be thinking much in this position. This should be clearly c1, and we see it land.
So here's the tag threat. White's going to have to combat this, likely with an e5 plus.
Probably. And then probably d5 plus is coming to respond. Or d5 left. D5 left might be more accurate actually. Because d5 left is sort of something you wanted to play anyway earlier to prevent white from getting the vertical. But okay, let's see. I mean, d5 plus has the... Oh.
Oh,
Oh, but that's, I think, a blunder.
it's a good
Oh,
FCD move.
no, it's not. Okay, never mind. I thought this unpinned caps the b3 capstone, but the capstone is still pinned now in a different way. Very interesting.
I like that because that's a that's a +2 flat count differential move here.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
+2.
and that's really nice for black. Um, yeah, that's good. That's
I
good for
think white
black.
is I think white is gonna want to play a3 now or sa3, but I think I prefer a3. Why? Because this unpins the capstone, which would allow white to smash b4 on the next move.
Hmm.
And if white gets there, I think white is in really good shape.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Um, Now meanwhile, black is probably looking to put a wall on a e5 in order to recapture on e6.
However, Abyss is down below 40 seconds now on the clock.
Oh lord. Okay, well this is going to be
And meanwhile, Abyss is at not even 6.5 yet. So we see the
Pluto.
wall drop on b5. Now this is going to be able to capture left onto a5 and liberate those captives on a5 and a4. And I think that's a really important spot. Sure, I don't know if I would have gone for that, but black is now going to be making a threat on the following turn by capturing up onto e6.
Right. I don't love the placement on b5 because this makes it awkward to get the full like payout from the wall.
I agree. I
Because
think that the placement on b5 was due to low time, but it looks like Pluto is
okay.
Pluto looks like he's going to be winning this one, unless White comes
I
up
mean
with something smart here. I mean, White does
he's
have the e3 flat that can come left and kind of disrupt that connection to the capstone, and then Black would have to take a turn or two to catch up to that. So White is going to be playing the momentum game here, trying to force moves. And so once he does come left with e3 to interrupt this threat, White's going to be able to come up and smash onto b4 if that's what he wants to do, because he won't have to worry about losing to anything horizontal here. There's a lot of options
uh,
that he's got. He could come left with b5 also. A lot of options here, but Black, is he going to want to place at D3? Yeah, or D2, sorry. Yeah, does
Right.
place at D2 because he wants to be able to capture up and make
So what does
that
Abyss
connection.
do here? Maybe
I like Abyss smashing.
no, that loses.
Oh, it does
Be-
lose because of the vertical threat on the left-hand side. Yeah, you're right. Smart. I totally didn't see that. So yeah, the wall has to come left, I guess.
yeah, first of all, 12 seconds. I mean, come on, this is move 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Abyss does make this. Okay.
Now
Threat
we see the
from
threat.
black.
White could throw that wall all the way right, but decides to move that c5 right. I think that was the smarter play for sure.
Yeah, this is a very good position for black now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, very good position on the board and on the time. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
Black's got 6 minutes of buffer time basically. That's a lot of
yeah,
buffer time.
yeah. Black just needs to not get complacent and should have this game on lockdown. I mean, let's see. What's the flat count now? 7 to um 7 to 9 to komi. So black is up 4 on his own turn. So this is a huge advantage now. Makes another threat. Yeah, Abyss on the back foot
Definitely
firmly.
on the back foot here. Can't
Is
bring
he
that
gonna
wall left. You
come?
can bring the wall down onto e5.
But yeah, that's gonna result in c5 probably getting played. And then I'm guessing the a5 wall is getting thrown to c5.
That would be my guess also. But Abyss is basically just scrambling at this point. He's got 10 seconds on the clock. Keeps on playing. Does bring e6 down to e5.
Black might not necessarily want to play c5 here though. It kind of feels like it helps white. Ah, going for a throw. Interesting.
That makes sense. It basically forces a wall on d3.
Yeah, and we do see it.
And
But does
black can still
it does
play at c3
yeah, but
or at
that
e3 or at e2.
c3 might activate the white capstone slightly.
Yeah, you don't want to give him a chance to move that capstone. So yeah, I'd say e3 would
Huh.
have been better maybe. Capstone comes over.
Wait. There's a threat here in this position. Okay, tag threat. So for now, yeah, I'm guessing E1 or F2.
Yeah, the e1 attack threat. Wall comes down.
Hmm.
So Abyss down now up to about a minute on the clock. So he's been playing quickly to regain a little bit of that time. Knows what he needs to play in these in these last few moves to build up a little bit more time on the clock.
Yeah, and now the oh, black missed it. White does have the No, never mind. He did not miss anything.
I don't
I'm
know what you're
blind.
talking about. There's no way White has a threat here.
What I mean, white can almost throw to c6 and smash, but that would leave a road for black.
Yeah, that wouldn't work out.
Okay, setting it up. No. Uh, yeah, I mean, b3 is useful. It blocks black from getting the horizontal threats in, I guess. Um, yeah, what else is there to do in this position?
I mean, White wants to go for the vertical, of course. Not going to be super easy. There's a lot that Black can do to stop that. Um,
Yeah,
Going for a horizontal for white doesn't make a lot of sense right now. They really don't have any option to do that. Nothing
yeah.
on D to make that
I
happen.
I think this is firmly flat game territory now.
I
I
think
don't.
black still has an opportunity to make a road in this
But black
game.
has no necessity for that. So
No, they can play for flats for sure.
yeah, and I think they're doing that. They're just minimizing the threats that white can make.
Playing
B6
up
is a
at
very good.
D6 makes it so that white won't be able to make that connection in the
Mhm.
vertical direction. If
And
white
now
wants to
I'm
be able to make a
guessing.
threat, they've got to go on that far right hand side on F.
Yeah, now I'm.
Abyss, if you had just played F3 when I told you to, you would already have this right hand side going. Back on what, turn
Uh,
3? Turn 4? Something like that?
the right hand side is kind of dead anyway, because the capstone on d5 is protecting.
And then
Well,
the wall.
black just dropping a wall. It's the wall of being rich in flats, I guess.
Yep, black has 13 flats on the board, and white has way fewer. 8.
Yeah,
8 going right now. Now 9, I guess. Now 9.
yeah. This is firmly. I mean, it's of course. I mean, it's still blunderable.
Still
Um,
blunderable for sure. But yeah, there's really not much that white can do in this position. I mean, there's plenty of reserves left, but black may want to just try and push for a board fill as well. I mean,
yeah, I
there's also a lot
think
of
I think
spaces to
that's
play.
yeah, I think that's the best idea here.
What was that?
Uh, I
I,
don't know.
I am not sure what that was about.
I I
He,
don't
I
think
feel
this
like you
is.
should have just kept playing flats.
Yeah.
I think black wants to make a smash. Or something. I'm not
Well, I
sure.
mean, smashing a5 would be immediate death.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe black
perfectly
wants to
cal.
make a road in the horizontal direction.
Yeah, Pluto is
Playing up
definitely
5.
Pluto is definitely sort of more inclined to play for a road, I think. But yeah, I mean, you should clearly be able to tell that this is not going to be a road probably. Although, I mean, he is making it work somehow.
Yeah, I feel
There
like
is.
that stack move on 32, the 65 left 1-5 was, I would call that a pretty big blunder. Uh, Definitely should have just been dropping flats.
I really don't think it's a blunder because I mean, both positions are clearly winning for black. So
That's just
it's
because of
just
how far ahead he was.
yeah, yeah.
I'd
But I
say
mean,
that was a little different.
it makes it so that it's maybe a bit harder to win,
Hmm.
but the theoretical result of this game is not really affected.
Even
Um,
Sime in the chat is giving a question mark.
I
He's like, I don't know about
think
that one, guys.
I think the question mark was when black dropped the wall on f3, which also was like kind of unnecessary. I think you could have just dropped a flat there, but okay. So I mean, why is kind of getting back into it? I think.
I think white won't be able to take that wall and spread it up onto d6 to come down, because that would leave a road for black.
Yeah, but White would have wanted to free up the spot on d3 for himself, which is now covered up, of
Hmm.
course. Abyss now at 7 seconds. 6. Okay.
White coming down, making the capture. Probably wants to spread upwards for
There's
flat
I
cut
think
differential
it's
move.
yeah, I think it's possible to wall on a5 here, just to prevent the spread from happening to save on the headache.
Yeah.
But okay, Black just takes the headache head on, I guess. I don't think it's really, I mean, a mistake even, so
I
it's
mean,
fine.
now that one I found interesting because I expected him to take that whole stack and bring it upwards, uh, going 6 or no, going 5a4 minus 1 4.
Minus.
Or plus,
Going
sorry,
down.
plus 1 4. Sorry, my bad. Plus 1 4. Because what I felt that
No,
would do is then he could get a +2 move on the following turn as well.
I think I like going down.
Going down, yeah, you might be able to make that work into a road, but I don't know if you got the time for it.
You've got some nice plus FCD moves across those two flats on C2 and D2 as well. So I think that could have worked. Okay, so black is offering the loss by board fill.
Yeah. So 13 for white. 16 for black. So white's making moves.
Including komi or
Including komi, yes. So
okay.
when black placed that flat at a3, Sima also gave us a question mark, like, what's he doing? Maybe Simon's forgetting about komi.
Sam is definitely question marking the players quite a lot. Just playing c3, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. No sneaky wins. Nope.
No sneaky wins here.
I guess just a1 here for safety or d3.
D3, and now white might come down with c4, and that would be a threat.
Or alright with b3. Okay. That's
Now black
already
comes down with that wall.
Set up the response in advance.
That stops it pretty firmly. I'm not sure what white can do now. Oh, goes for that.
All right.
Now that wall is up there on the A file, stops that from happening.
Yeah, he gets one more flat, but yeah, this is too late. Black can now flat and win.
Sime was confused because he didn't realize there was komi.
Right.
That's why he was at A3. He was like, wait, what are you doing? All right.
Okay.
Threat for black?
Well, yeah, two threats. Placing to win and placing and capture for road.
Oh, and gets a road.
Okay, sure.
There you go. Well, congratulations to PlutoTheBrave for winning game 1 as black against Abyss. That's a pretty strong one. I know that he was definitely dreading this match for sure.
Yeah.
Because his prediction bracket was called something like that. Feel when you pull Abyss on draw 1 on round 1.
Yeah.
And so he actually has Abyss in his prediction. He has Abyss winning the whole tournament. So he clearly didn't think he was going to be able to do well. But he does take game 1. Now there are 3 more games to play in this match. So yeah, that should be fun. We'll see if Abyss can come back and take a shot here at PlutoTheBrave and even things up. But that is all for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the TAC Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be online on playtac.com or over in the Discord server playing asynchronously. But that is all for today. Maybe in the next one, we will get to see Abyss even things up. But thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.